Good evening, and welcome back to Disco Elysium. As usual, I will be picking up exactly where I left off last week, which is continuing the investigation into a murder mystery and any other investigation that I happen to come across along the way. Because there's so many things to be investigated in this neighborhood, apparently the police haven't been here in years. In any case, I just opened up my notes to make sure that I remember things. Let's get going. Alright. We ended last week standing in front of the shipping container that I would really love to know what's inside, but cannot find out. Simply because, I don't know, the fates don't like me. There isn't actually anything in there and it's just there to torment me. I'm not sure. However, we had just been to talk to Everard, who was singularly unhelpful, but implied that maybe he might consider possibly becoming helpful at some point in the future if we do him just one more little favor. You know, seeing as we already did him a favor, and obviously it came out well for everyone involved. Obviously. So now we have a letter that we're supposed to get 2 signatures on so that Everard can build what he refers to as a youth center, of all things. Basically on top of a bunch of people's homes. Said construction project is going to take about a year and a half and is going to be incredibly loud and incredibly disruptive and will basically make everyone move away out of sheer irritation and annoyance. But nobody's being put out of their homes. Oh no. Never that. So, that being said, Kim and I, my partner and I having discussed it, we decided that we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to forge somewhat appropriate looking signatures and mail off the letter on the assumption that, we will be long gone by the time the forgery is discovered. Well, not the forgery, that it's discovered that the signatures are no good, and then the construction project won't go through. Of course, I have to go across the harbor first before I do that, but that's not a big thing because I was planning on going there anyway. Now, I could go over and see if there are any bottles near Measurehead, I suppose. I'm absolutely not going to talk to him again. The 1.5 conversations I have had with him so far were more than enough. And there are no bottles here anyway. Farewell. I never want to speak to that man again. However, perhaps Manana here knows something about the man that Everard wanted us to scare, because he seems to have access to a key to the dumpster that the murder victim's clothes were all thrown away into. So I'd really like to talk to him.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you?
And that's Bug has showed up again. Good thing the thing that I wanted to ask is right up here on top. That weasel I visited. Turns out he has one hell of a colonial mug collection. Yeah, he nods, rubbing his chin. The janitor who gave me the key to his apartment said the guy's a bit of an asshole. Yes, his mug collection certainly represented antiquated social values. See how we're all busy concentrating on the racist mugs? That's what the ruling class wants. A man with such a funny mug collection can't be that bad. All I'm saying is he had a lot of mugs. It wasn't just his mug collection that represented the antiquated values. He also had a flag on his wall that represented a monarchy that hasn't been around for a very long time. Yeah, let's go with his mug collection represented antiquated values. Like I said before, I don't know much about this weasel, but the bossman said he's a real piece of work. He touches his beret. Thanks for helping out, friend. Ah, that's a pity. I would really like to talk to this guy, considering that his stuff appears to have been in that locked dumpster. Gotta go, Manana. Nice talking to you. Manana's like one of the 3 people in this town who's nice to me. He doesn't respect my authority much as a police officer, but, you know, neither do I, so... And the scabs are still at it. And, oh, what good timing. My tablet has decided to restart. That is definitely going to prevent me from seeing any chat if there is some. So if I don't say hello, that's why. Okay, now that we've talked to Everard, the plan is to go down and talk to, I believe her name is Joyce? The representative of White Pines, who we have also done a favor in the hopes of actually getting some evidence for our murder mystery. Even in the rain, they're at it. That's impressive. I'm just gonna walk right through the middle of it. Hello, boys. Oh, the tablet is updating. Android is updating now. Of course, it couldn't have done this at any time earlier today. Okay. Continuing onwards. Come on, tablet. I'm just going to give me a moment here. While I'm over here, there was a certain time. There was a young man that we were supposed to visit sometime today, on the Wednesday of the game. $2100 or later. Oh, I've got lots of time. Cindy's still up there, even with all this downpour. Girl's got dedication. All right. We are are sitting on some skill points right now because I'm hoping to unlock things without spending skill points, but I have the skill points just in case I need them. If I have ideas and notes on where to spend them. And there we go. Now I've got chat up in front of me again. So, now let's get buried in this conversation.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
She pats her wet raincoat. Lady. All around you, rain keeps falling down, on the wooden board she's standing on, and on the water around you. You know, I have a raincoat, I'm wearing it. I could use a coat like that, the rain is freezing. Neither do I, pat your similarly wet cloak. No need, tell me something. Well, you know what, since I said it, pat the cloak.
Very rugged. Good choice. Now, I suspect you had questions. Nothing like talking to pass a rainy day. Am I right?
Oh, sure. I spoke with the lorryman at the roundabout. Yes, my eyes on the harbor have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered? Wait, where exactly are these eyes located? We've discovered enough to conclude, for now. No, where exactly are these eyes? It doesn't really matter, and I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this. Visual calculus. One of the tall buildings overlooking a roundabout, most likely. That would give them a read on the entire quarter. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation. Kim, if there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I'm sure you understand. Of course, detectives, she says, her tone more cautious suddenly. In any case, you've held up your end of the arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands. Half-light. The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries. Strawberries. Okay, what was that about a bloodbath? Tell me again, how are the lynching and the strike connected, or that's enough for now. What was that about a bloodbath? Yes, I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivercall West. Kim, since you're sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario. Joyce, then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be. Okay, how are the lynching and the strike connected then? Tell me. I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail. A momentary lapse of faith? Or do you need a security detail? Oh, both of these are good questions. Oh, which one do I ask? A momentary lapse of faith? They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer. Kim, every worker. Joyce, a member of the board. She nods. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor. Do you need a security detail? Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering. Where are the other ones? Kim, who are they exactly? Joyce, Crenell, an Orangeese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. It sounds like there wasn't one in the first place, so it can go nowhere but down. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment. Uh-oh. Kim, so what happened? Joyce, the story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night. What then? Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbor. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now. For now? It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow. Oh boy. Kim, what is the nature of this so-called investigation? Joyce, whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants. Oh boy. Half-Light. It'll be all of them. The decision is already made. You've made a mess here. I have to say, this is not disco. Maybe the investigations can team up, share resources and intelligence? Or boy, oh boy, is that not good. While my actual response is the last one, I am pretty sure that it's not the right one in this situation. You've made a mess here, Joyce. It was the Union who strung him from that tree. A wave crashes against the side of her boat. My hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before Crenell indiscriminately picks theirs. Simply put, she grabs hold of the mainsail. If you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This, in turn, will force the Union to respond. Kim, the WOJs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1. Joyce, have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? She leans back. It's not pretty. Encyclopedia success. The Ceres giant hornet, the world's 2nd largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees in a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours. While this is true, the bees from the areas the hornets are from are known to fight back very uniquely and successfully. Admittedly, the giant hornets that have made it here to North America, well, the bees here don't have quite the same defenses, unfortunately. Joyce, these men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most union workers don't have guns at all. Hand-eye coordination success. The muzzle loaders need to be reloaded after every 1 or 2 shots. The automatics every 1 or 2 minutes. This is true. Joyce. She is silent for a moment, then concludes. As I said, a bloodbath. And your fault. In a way. Not entirely, but you carry some of the blame for this, Joyce. I can't see it happen. Too many things would have to go wrong first. Isn't this a pretty bleak scenario you're describing? Or I think the confrontation is inevitable. Oh. Oh, this is a tough one. Isn't this pretty bleak? Many bleak scenarios have already come true. She looks at you, eyes damp from the wind. Nameless, badgeless detective of the Citizens Militia. Ah, leveled up. All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single, concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse the situation. You know, if the mercenaries don't listen to you and aren't actually under your control, I doubt you can do anything. Okay, we have opened up some new options here. What can you tell me about Crenell? You said the deceased assaulted a woman. This colonel, the one who was hanged, did you know him? Where are the remaining 2 mercs now? How much time do we have? And that's enough for now. You said the deceased assaulted a woman? Or he didn't. She tilts her head. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it. Who did the passing on then? Or what did these teenagers by the canal say? Now, what did they say? That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez. Kim, this does not come as news to us, but still, he exchanges a glance with you. To your knowledge, where did this assault take place, if you know? Joyce, last Sunday night at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him. I know the woman you're talking about. We have it under control. Or don't mention it. And who was this woman? Oh, I like that second one. I'm going with that one. That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe. What can you tell me about Crenell? Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell. They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welkman Lawrence, Endact. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. guarding facilities, escort missions, and such. Kim, meaning they're used to operating in war zones. Joyce, yes, all the good conflict corridors. Supermunde, Yasut, the Seminoles Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil. Okay, anything else you got on them? Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. She thinks. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though, she thinks. Kim, do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am? Joyce, in my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I would be dealing with a group like Cornell. Could you contact the company? Tell them to call them off? I have, and they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us. Drama. She's being truthful. She's pressing them as hard as she can. Okay. This colonel, the one who was hanged, did you know him? If you mean did I see him alive, yes, but I did not know him. His name was Lely. His service name, a nom de guerre most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one. Tell me about the others first. This Lely, anything else? Nationality? How old would you say he was? Tell me about the others first. One is a man, Corty they call him, a nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator. Kim, the lieutenant cuts in. What would you say was his eye color, the deceased? Joyce, she closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head. I can't remember. There's a pang of regret to her voice. Logic success. The lieutenant was testing her, asking a small detail first to see if she knew him better than she let on. She passed. Kim, that's all right, ma'am. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age? Joyce, he was 40 or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age or gauge his facial expressions. Kim, this matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body, and Classy also mentioned it, I believe, he says to you, then turns back to Joyce. What else? Nationality? Accent? Joyce, he was Occidental, I think. Like brown hair, a mixed accent, Orangese, or Messenian, maybe? His injury gave him an accent all his own. Kim, Occidental. That fits the statement of another witness, the lieutenant says, pleased. Okay, where are the remaining two mercs? They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. She puts her foot on the guard wire for balance. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revocol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes, ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting. We still need to know where they are. We'll confront them directly. Okay, we'll steer clear for the moment. We still need to know where they are. You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved. Okay, so we have a medium logic challenge that can't be repeated for where are the mercenaries, or okay, we'll steer clear. Okay, this has a 92%. Well, let's chance it. First roll of the evening. Success! One is obviously the scab leader at the harbor gates, the one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing lorry drivers. One must be the goon in ill-fitting work clothes by the harbor gates, the scab leader. One is probably in a building overlooking the roundabout. I had another question for you. One must be the goon. That may be so. She is poised and unperturbed. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest. Kim, for all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gates is a powder keg. Does that not bother you? Joyce, of course it bothers me, Lieutenant, but my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union? Kim, your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace. Well, let's continue messing with her. I think the other one is overlooking the roundabout. That would afford a good vantage point, she says. In any case, it's practically inaccessible. Kim, where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece? Joyce, heavens no, I'm not an undercover agent. There's a shortwave at the ship's wheel. She nods towards the sloop's cabin. All right, another question. I hope I can answer it better. Oh, I wish you would answer my questions better too, Joyce. All right, in your estimation, how much time do we have? Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob, and their impatience. They don't report their progress to you? Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative. There's a brief silence. Seagulls squawk over the bay. It's a matter of days, not weeks. Well, that was fairly obvious. Thank you for not being helpful. That's enough for now. I'm sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there's anything else I can help you with, please ask. Okay. Now, can you tell me about these tattoos? Of course. Excuse my hesitation before. She reaches over the guard wire and takes the photo, holds it in her hand. For about half a minute, in silence. Perception success. She wears fingerless gloves. Her fingernails are cut short and fractured, like those of a working woman. Kim, it was taken with a Trigat not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs. Stay quiet, observe the woman's expression, or what do you think? Observe. Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface. What do you think? Sorry, she breaks her concentration. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points, the stars. She points to one on the photo paper. I can't, but that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent. Like stars in the sky, or say nothing? Say nothing. Port cities, on the oceans. This is an Orange's map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the DeLorean century as early as 300 years ago. The sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels. What is the use of this map? What travels did the dead man make? Who could tell me more? Or that's all for the tattoos. Thank you for your help. What travels did the dead man make? Quite a few. Vreed Fort, the Orange's capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. She points to it on the photo. He started somewhere near here, I think. Kim, what next? Joyce. Then he made his way to the Prato Grande, through what I must think be Stadskanal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Prato he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first Semnes Islands, then this, she points to his heart. What is that? Rivicol, she says. Those are the two constants, Vreed Fort on the shoulder and Rivicol on the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde as the dawn of the Intersolary Age? Ugh, I know I didn't say that right. Conceptualization success. The old world passing by and the new world already here. Kim, you said you can't read it. Joyce, I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning. Encyclopedia success. Vreed Fort? Vreed Fort has a military academy. The Semines Islands saw a recent conflict. In Revicol, he was executed. Maybe it's a record of his military career, or leave it be. Maybe it's a record of his military career. That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways. Just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident, mercenary tattoos. Conceptualization success. For all the boys looking for adventure, a blood spatter on the seas. What is the use of this map? Who could tell me more? Or that's all for the tattoos. What is the use of it? The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it. Oh, that's poetic. Who could tell me more? His platoon members? The other contractors? Though I do not suggest you go and show them the picture, this man was their friend and comrade. I need the information. Mark it down. Ask the mercs about the tattoos. You're right, not a good idea. Leave it off the schedule. I mean, I think I need to talk to them at some point anyway. need the information. I want the information. Do what you have to do, Detective. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. But if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you. That's darn right. Kim, we will be careful, ma'am. That's all for the tattoos. Thank you for your help. She hands you back the photo. Is there anything else you can help me with? Is there anything else I can help you with? That's what happens when you read too fast. I've got some more questions about reality while we're here. More lessons in basic reality. She's positively surprised. My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything. Oh boy, oh boy. We have an esprit de corps, which is a 28% chance. What is, think of something close to you. A +1 from the RCM can access the ICP database. A +1 from RCM can use unjacketed ammo. And a +1 from RCM can debrief done. And there's also a conceptualization challenge here. What is reach for something fundamental? That one's on a 3%, my goodness. What is this? Spread your hands. A bird? She tilts her head. A spinactid? A flightless bird of the polar regions? Keep guessing? Am I really that awkward? I meant, what is this place here? Am I really that awkward? Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games. I meant, what is this place here? Let me ask you something else. No, what is this place here? Ah, she spreads her arms almost as wide. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Gilles, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two. She looks around. What is Rue de Saint-Gilles, 33A? A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see, and new buildings bâtiments after les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux, they're old. She looks up the crumbling facade. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall, a real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course. Who lived in them? Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off. Continue? Oh, Cindy! Cindy the Skull! Splat, splat! From a dilapidated balcony, Cindy the Skull gives Joyce the evil eye, her red paintbrush held to her throat. Perception sight success. You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a sawing motion. Joyce. Wonderful. Well, that was certainly... Oh, we've opened up a what is that and point to Cindy. Let's do it. The girl in the old lady rags? Yes, no, I meant something basic about reality. No, yes. Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture. Infraculture? Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd, the music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant. These are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It's an illusion, I'm afraid. There's no refuge from the superculture. Okay, now explain the same thing but to a child. I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow. Make it more complicated. I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead. Oh, well... She basically works for capitalism and is capitalism, so yeah, she would support it. She pauses to take a long, leisurely sip of tea. All right, what next? Conceptualization success. Suddenly you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture. I think I may be part of an infraculture, or let it go. Oh, no. No, let's follow this one. Her eyes go round with surprise. And what would that be? Cop, disco, or I don't know, I just feel it. I just feel it. Ah, yes, that is what counts, I suppose. For my part, I was more of a new girl. The new? We got this covered about another basic reality term? The new? The new, a cultural era, and the name of the decade it ravished, the 30s. It came out of post-revolutionary recall. It was ultra-liberal. It involved lots of partying, as you might imagine, and champagne colored everything. By the looks of it, that would have been when you came of age. Now, she raises her eyebrows at you. Sounds fun. I can't remember a single thing. Champagne? That doesn't sound like anything I'd be into. I'm straight edge. Got it? Let's take it back to Reality Central for the next one. Sounds fun. Can't remember anything. Wasn't it Guillaume de Million who said, if you can remember the new, you weren't there? Wait, Guillaume de Million? I was just thinking about that guy. Whatever happened to him? Got it? Let's take it back to Reality Central. No, I'm gonna chase that one down. Whatever happened to him? Ah, yes. She looks hesitant. This is not very central to reality, is it? I still want to know, or got it, let's take it. No, I still want to know. I can't be 100% sure, but I believe he died due to complications from venereal disease. Which one? Are you sure he didn't die of autoerotic asphyxiation? Or so you're saying he didn't vanish in a puff of stardust? Which one? All of them. Oh my. Are you sure he didn't die of autoerotic asphyxiation? You can't get a venereal disease from that, can you? So he didn't vanish in a puff of stardust? I'm afraid no, but then again, one can't be entirely sure. It's all part of his mystique. Ask someone else and you may get a more champagne-colored take. Anyway, she concludes, what other basic facets of reality should we discuss? That's still 28. That's still 3. What times are these? These are unimportant times, detective. She puts her finger to her lips, then points at you. You and I were born after the dust had settled, a thousandth of a second too late. Too late for what? Or got it? Another question. No, too late for what? For the big time. Her eyes light up. There's a flash of teeth. Half-light success. The smile of a predator. No doubt what she's got in mind. You've got a predatory streak, or what's the big time? I'm already down the rabbit hole. What's another whole rabbit hole inside the rabbit hole? Got a predatory streak there, lady. All men are predators, dear. Nothing much to be done about that. It's all a matter of where you get to file your teeth. What's the big time, then? The revolution, she says. Ha, and what is this revolution I keep hearing about? It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle. Would you say it was a bunch of apes duking it out? Who got shot in the head? Who got the mineral rights? When was this kerfuffle? Or that's enough about the times. Well, just to hearken back to a previous go-round, would you say it's a bunch of apes? Why, of course. We're talking Duke Out Central. Full swing intraspecies warfare. And the apes, were they evil? No, I would say the apes were neutral. She looks at you, her gaze sharp. Sounds like evil to me. Okay, neutral. They're good apes, actually. Okay, neutral. On the other hand, she turns north to the bombed-out buildings lining the waterfront, then shivers slightly. So who got shot in the head? Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution, but the communists, they all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well one forgets they even existed. Conceptualization success. She likes the totality of it. You could say they got totally shot in the head, or did the communists and the anarchists shoot back? I am not going totally, so did they shoot back? Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people. Truly a kerfuffle? That's a tragedy. Sounds like they should have shot more people in the head then. That's a tragedy. Yes, the Red Deluge, the Insulinden Deluge, they call it. Anyone else get shot in the head on the opposing side? Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. She shakes her head. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king, just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. Smart king, cowardly king. I loved that king, fucking communists. I don't care about kings. Tell me one more thing. Coward. I prefer the term risk-adverse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing, so he got out alive and his nephew Frizzell got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time. Who got the mineral rights then? The liberals got the mineral rights. She looks up to the sky, then inland at the crumbling city. And by mineral rights, I mean everything. Okay, and by liberals you mean... Or how did the liberals win it all? No, whomst. And by liberals you mean... Liberals are usually middle-class people, detective, or the remaining gentry, the beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well. How did they win it all? They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember? Rhetoric success. She's one of them, of course. If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to? To foreign intervention, the coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights. She's a capitalist. Wait, you just said the liberals already took everything, or who are the coalition? You just said that the liberals took it. The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. She stomps her rubber-booted foot. The ocean, the laws, and the people. So then who are the coalition? The coalition of nations, Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Orange, and Sur-la-Chef, the armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do. Moralist? The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revocol now, the coalition government. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist. Encyclopedia success. The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of the Moral Intern, or Moralist Internal, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of the gray sky. Unofficial, for a moment there was hope. I don't think I'm a moralist, ma'am. Not just technically, practically, for a moment there was hope. If always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything, then hell yes I am, and also not. There's something that feels very wrong about the grammar of number 3 there, but I can't quite put my finger on how to correct it. For a moment there was hope. A devout man of the center, she nods. Hard to come by. It's good to have someone who takes a moderate approach to head shooting. In your line of work, I mean. So when was this kerfuffle? The turn of the century revolution? She smiles mischievously. Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isola of Grad, though by the end nearly the whole world had gotten involved. Who started it? It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Tzarth. A particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government. This is starting to feel a little close to home. Oh dear. What did this Tzareth do? Where did it spread from there? What did it do? It made people overthrow their governments. Wow, really? Or no way? No way. Indeed, Zareth is an highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark. Encyclopedia success. It was a funny time in history. They'd discovered transistors and rock music, but they didn't know anything about prions. Nobody did. Where did it spread from there? From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in 08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end. What came next? Why, you and I, officer. She spread her arms, raincoat flapping in the wind. Our lives in the zone of control. What is the zone of control, or what happened to the rest of the world, which is a proceed? What is the zone of control? A city-state divided into free market zones, under the everlasting interregnum of the coalition of nations, and you, of course, the citizens' militia. The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune. What happened to the rest of the world, then? Modernity. They developed the marvels of intersolary communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade. Logic success. 51 minus 8 equals 43. Wait, you're saying it's been like this for 43 years? Or it's been like this for how long exactly? Well, my logic just did the math for me, so fine. 43 years. Time flies. What have we been doing all that time? Or that's it then, another topic. What have we been doing? The 20s saw a decade of urban war. West of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell. And after that? The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere. Conceptualization success. All that untaxed income must have fueled the new. That can only mean one thing. That's when they discovered disco, or were they? It's when they discovered disco. I got experience for that. Yes, and quantitative easing. It was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. An Isola-wide hangover, you might say. So, here we are. She curtsies. Task complete. Get a reality lowdown. Another level up. Welcome to reality, baby. For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side. Thank you, Logic. Which side was Wild Pines Group on? They picked the winning side. That's why we're here, and others are not. They chose wisely, they got lucky. They chose wisely. Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I might have bet on the king and led the Pines to doom. You would have sided with the king? I would have sided with the cannons. If you'd seen the calibers of the things, you might have too. She thinks, perhaps it's better I was born when I was. 10 of the 14 Indo-tribes got it wrong. Feld, Kupri, Tricentennial, so I suppose I would have been in good company. What would you have done differently? Good question. She cranes her neck. What would you have done differently? Volition success. No, who first? Her first. I asked you, who are you in all this? I would have sought a medical solution. Sounds like Tazareth drove those people mad. I would have killed more, 400 million, if that's what it took. I would have positioned myself very precisely. I would have made it out with the mineral rights. I don't know what I would have done differently. I asked you. And I asked you, passless detective of the Citizens Militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you? Half-light success. Here's some wisdom, lady. Say the death thing. Okay, fine. We'll go with half-light. Would have killed more. Shivers success. The cold runs down your spine as you say the words, like a small electric charge that seeks grounding. Joyce. I see. A tenth of humanity. She's unfazed. The key of history is in the lock. Keep turning. At any cost? At any cost, until humanity is free and the age of capital is past. Until this insanity is crushed and Rivacol reigns, a suzerain forever. Until it's all mine, every pigment-drenched black leaf of money in Rivacol. Until the middle class, the gentry, and the workers are all gone and the age of man is over. Oh my, Until Revacol reigns. Shivers. The wind stops, and for a moment they're silent. The cold dissipates into your parietal lobe like a dissolved bullet. All is quiet on the Martinez Inlet. Did I finally make a choice? Perception hearing success. A dog barks and a gunshot echoes off the walls of some distant building. A woman's voice. Shivers. Revacol forever. Joyce. Forever? She cocks her head sideways. In 20 years, Rivacol went from a king to a commune to a zone of control. She is forever. But the next thing she will be is something else. Kim. The lieutenant puts down his notes for a moment. Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM. Joyce. She turns to him. And what is your official position, Lieutenant? Kim. My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the Revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir. Understandable. She nods. That's enough about the times, then. Revacol forever. They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know? Rhetoric success. Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer. Sure, Rhetoric, let's, Since I'm definitely not going with either of those, what are you? She hums. Volition success. She won't maneuver her way out of this one. What are you, or say nothing? I will say nothing. I am the vilest of the vile, she says with a sudden flash of teeth. A traitor, a devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra. Composure, success. She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine. Half-light, success. It's sharp. Wait, what's an ultra? Dios mio, draw across. A liberal? Cool, I liberate pretty hard myself. I don't understand what's so vile about that. Dios mio. Yes, she nods slowly. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists. I can see you thought we'd gone extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. She looks into your eye. You've got Revocol in your blood. A real nationalist, no? Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, are you repulsed? Empathy, success. In her green eyes you see a mixture of truth and self-satire, decades of guilt and pride. You're a monster. I forgive you. I forgive you, but only because you're charming, or I don't care. I forgive you, but only because you're charming. Adil, she pronounces, who being of great charm and guile sneaketh into the homes of the godly. Conceptualization success. The dialogue is ubi sunt? You recognize the quote from somewhere. A play written way back in the Franco-Conigerian century. And persuades them to addict themselves to his service. Vile duel, strike your head slowly. And persuades them. Ah, maybe you remember more than you let on. She gives you a coy little smile, despite whatever brain damage the alcohol may have inflicted. Vile duel. I hope we are able to remain friends, despite my scaly bulk and my love of regicide and homosexuality. The loss of sovereignty was not our plan all along, I assure you. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. She turns her gaze to the Delta. This was all our last generation managed. Would you have done something differently? Or that settles that. Would you have done something differently? With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery. Shivers success. While a gentle wind sweeps the streets in the rebuilt east, light drizzle washing it clean, lights go up and motor carriages circulate the tracts. Joyce, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Breachheads either, if not for my own sake. Composure success. She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched. She loosens them. Joyce, then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the Holy Sola down rather than let them have it. You're a smart woman. You're a patriot. You have daughters? You're a smart woman. Perhaps. Her earrings chime as she nods. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing. Logic, success. You're no dummy yourself. So am I? No, or intellectual vanity will be my undoing. Or it will be my undoing. And the crown on your head as you lay in the casket. You're a patriot? Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here. Kim, seditious talk minute, ma'am. The lieutenant puts down his notes and gives her a look. You have daughters? Yes, whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. She closes her eyes, then opens them again. Now, shall we return to reality? I'm not going to ask her about what she keeps calling my amnesia because I don't want to try to continue to pronounce that. I'm sorry. Conclude. Glad to have been assistance, the little that I know. Anything else? Thank you, that's all for now. Well, that was very educational in multiple ways. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick moment here. Alright. That was a lot of talking. Just getting some coconut water from my poor throat after all that. And what do we have here? Uh-oh. Oh, and it's got another bug. What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate political opinions somewhere in Martinez. You must be mistaken, I'm a real radical. That's me, Mr. Reasonable. Someone's got to keep it sane around here. This is because I keep saying something. You must be mistaken. Of course, a radical centrist. In these bright and loud times where 1,000 frequencies drown one another out, sober thinking is a radical act. It's time to become a citizen of the kingdom of conscience. First, where is this kingdom of conscience? No more talk, sign me up for a passport, opt in. No, I'm too fiery for this watercolor ideology. I'm trying to develop more extreme and interesting opinions. Where is this kingdom? It's not a place, it's a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times. How do you bring about these circumstances? That's an honorable goal, nod your head approvingly, or that's a stupid goal. How do you bring about those circumstances? Incrementally. History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place too quickly. That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment. But what about all the things that are wrong now? Okay, but what is the kingdom of conscience actually like? Or that sounds mega boring, count me out. But what about the things that are wrong now? Just because you live in the present doesn't mean that you have the right to place your needs above the needs of the future. You may never live to see the kingdom of conscience. Your children may not. Even your grandchildren might not. But that's no excuse not to keep working. Logic. What rationality? What sang-froid? What benevolence? Wait, is the kingdom of conscience really about doing things or just preserving the status quo? But what is the kingdom of conscience actually like? Or that sounds mega boring. Is it really about doing things or just preserve? Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed? Yes or no? Yes? There you have it. Sometimes holding the line is progress. But what is it actually like? The kingdom is difficult to comprehend and even more difficult to describe. Partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. The kingdom of conscience is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual. Sounds incredible. Allons-y, let's go there right now. Opt in. That seems fine. I still want to live for the present, though. Opt out. Man, that sounds kind of terrible. I don't think I want to be a moralist anymore. Opt out. You know what? I'm gonna opt into this one. Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow? Oh, right. Then let's get there eventually? That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revicol. When that real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we're all going to be so much happier. Oh, what have I done? Okay, let's just save that. Let's check out the quests. Alright, we have the new quest for Ask the Scab Leader about the tattoos. Perhaps another mercenary can tell you more about the Hanged Man's tattoos, the so-called Scab Leader at the harbor gates. It won't count as one of the people informing you about the tattoos, but could be interesting? And I finished... well, I finished Get a Reality Lowdown. Okay. Okay, alright. And thoughts. I have picked up the Kingdom of Conscience. That takes away my ability to threaten temporarily. Heartache is powerful, but democracy is subtle. Incrementally, you begin to notice a change in the weather. When it snows, the flakes are softer when they stick to your worry-worn forehead. When it rains, the rain is warmer. Democracy is coming to the administrative region. The ideals of DeLorean humanism are reinstating themselves. How can they not? These are the ideals of the Coalition and the Moralist International. Those guys are signal blue. And they're not only good, they're also powerful. What will it be like once their nuanced plans have been realized? I definitely will get started on that thought But I'm going to go talk to the bully boys first, because I think I might want my half-light for that. I mean, I do have a bunch of skill points kicking around now. I've leveled up a few times, which is excellent, but I still want to talk to the Hardy Boys first. And then I will get started on that thought. But yeah, that was quite a reality lowdown I got from Joyce there. Going southward is much slower than going northward. You only get so much at the bottom of the screen. Okay, we'll go talk to the Hardy Boys. Armed with our new information. And see if that unlocks that rhetoric check. Because I'm pretty sure my rhetoric is still hella low. Let's double check before we go inside. Where is my rhetoric? Well, my rhetoric is 5. Maybe it will be enough. Maybe. Alright. Off to a loading screen. And here's the screen to remind me about how I've been mispronouncing everything since I started playing. But in any case, I had been asking where the other mercenaries were as soon as they'd been brought up, so it's good to know that they haven't taken measures yet. I was kind of hoping that they'd withdrawn, given the death, but and here we are inside with the Hardy Boys. What do we got?
It's you again. What is it?
We have, guess what? I've connected you to the local drug trade. Or I talked to Joyce. The merc you hanged, his friends are coming for you. Haha. His friends are coming for you. Yeah? He doesn't seem worried. By friends, you mean his squad mates from Cranell? Eugene wouldn't want to beat up his grandma. They're snickering in the room. Some of the men put their beers down. Half-light success. Nervous snickering. There's a rush of adrenaline, President. Yes, they are forming some kind of tribunal and they're coming for you. Or, forget I mentioned it, it was probably nothing. They're coming for you. Kim, this is what happens if you take the law into your own hands. Other people start doing it too. Glenn, let them come, Blondie yells across the cafeteria. The Hardy Boys are right fucking here. You heard the man, right here. He points to the ground. We're armed, we've got the whole district behind us, and Glenn is fucking crazy. Elaine, yeah, a well-oiled murder machine. He punches Blondie in the shoulder. Did you know that a single Ceres giant hornet can kill 40 bees a minute? This Cornell is bad news, you know that, right? The mercenaries are armed with automatic weapons. Joyce said they've gone rogue, nobody is controlling them, or okay, conclude with a shrug. The mercenaries are armed with automatic weapons. We got weapons of our own. He cracks open his vest to give you a glimpse of his holster. We got Ister 50s, Ziegler's, Glenn's got a knock cannon at home. Will they pierce ceramic armor? Or, well, if Glenn has a knock cannon at home, I guess you'll be alright. So will they pierce the armor? I guess we're gonna see, aren't we? Rhetoric success. That was an unsure phrasing. See what? That they don't? Or for your sake, I hope you're right. See what? That they don't? Yeah, like you've been up against ceramic armor. He takes a sip of beer to bide his time, then tries to get the last word in. You haven't even seen the whole suit, right? I've seen the whole fucking thing, and it didn't make him immortal. This Cornell is bad news, you know that, right? Spray of beer. So were the local gangs, the fucking Barmy Army, and the Madra scum. You've been out there, seen any around? Elaine, yeah? Where are they now, huh? He points south, sent back to Madra in an airtight cargo crate. Kim, these people are trained military professionals with decades of combat experience. They're not a gang or a Barmy Army. Titus, no, they're not. They're uncoordinated and drunk. Don't forget, we're listening in on their communications. Their shit is way apart. Did you know that a single hornet can kill 40 bees a minute? The fuck is that supposed to mean? You're the bees, they're the hornet, or nothing. You're the bees. Eugene, we're not bees, we're men. We're socialists. Titus, easy, he's trying to phase you. He turns to you. What are you trying to do, scare my men? Yes! Joyce said they've gone rogue. Big fucking surprise, he mutters. They hire psycho scum, arm them to the teeth, and let them loose in the city. What do you think is going to happen? Conclude with a shrug, then. What do you mean, okay? He jerks forward a bit. I mean, okay, they're going to wipe you the fuck out, Titus. I mean, okay, you've got this. You got the numbers. I mean, okay, I'll be on your side when they come. I mean, okay, you've got one more gun on your side. Once I find mine, I lost it. I mean, okay, I guess I'll be gunning you right alongside them. I mean, they're going to wipe the fuck out, Titus. No, they won't. He shakes his beer at you. Get out of here with your negative energy. Kim, all he means is that the situation is serious. Titus, no wonder you cops get shot to shit every day. Can't go to war with an attitude like that. Okay. We have an even 42% chance on that rhetoric challenge. +1 from the strange reaction to the bullet, -1 for pushing Titus on the tape. +1 from Angus can't take pressure. +1 warned about the tribunal. +1 for discuss the 8th Hardy. You know what? Guess what? I've connected you to the local drug trade. Like hell you have. He leans back unruffled. There's no local drug trade. This place is as clean as a rifle. Go back to Jamrock and ask the local junkies how clean your streets are in Precinct 41 kilos. Kim, we'll do that. In the meantime, he points south, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection that was used to move raw ingredients for drugs from Terminal B to Jamrock? The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprints. He taps on his notebook, then turns to you. Detective, do you want to deliver the coup de grace? Reaction speed success. The thought forms in your head like a lightning strike branching in the sky. You're right, there is no local drug trade, except you, pointed Titus. No, do the honor, you've earned it, nodded the lieutenant. Forget it, I knew they'd never own up to it. Back off. Kim wanted me to have it. There's no local drug trade, except you. That's a mighty interesting theory. He rubs his jaw, smiling. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big, strong, state-run monopoly would out-compete the runts on the street. Eugene, yeah man, theoretically, that's what you would do, to get rid of the gangs, the dealers, even some of the junkies. Titus, you would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly, he grins. For the good of the community, of course. Oh my, oh my. This is disgusting. You're admitting to profiting off of poisoning your own people. Good idea. People are always going to do drugs. At least this way you have some control over it. Or, yeah, keep telling yourself that. I know for a fact there's still plenty of drugs out there. Keep telling yourself that. No, there aren't. Some little shit and his dad are doing speed. Boo fucking who. The stuff's probably from Jamrock. Reaction speed success again. Little shit, that's Kuno in the yard. Eugene, whatever you've seen is peanuts. Look at the big picture, man. This place is a paradise, all thanks to the Hardy Boys. Titus, theoretically, of course. We're just talking politics here. My answer to your drug accusation is, how dare you? Go fuck yourself. Kim, not quite yet, Mr. Hardy. There were 8 sets of prints on the crime scene. There are only 7 Hardy Boys here. The 8th Hardy, the one who's missing, she runs the thing, right? My answer is, fuck off. He takes a step closer. Mind your own business. There is no 8th Hardy. I run this goddamn scene. Elizabeth, and here we go. Back to the usual. The woman sighs. Shanky, I know. The little man raises his index finger excitedly. Fatty walked on all 4s. He's so fucking fat he left 2 sets of footprints. Reaction speed success again. Despite everything, the little man is quick on his feet. Good evening, Ask. Welcome to my very fucked up murder investigation. Which is also a drug investigation. Which is also possibly a ghost investigation. Which is also possibly a strike-breaking something or other. Or maybe averting a small war. Or there's a lot of stuff going on, honestly. Angus, go fuck your mom, Dennis. Okay. Elizabeth, that's more like it, boys. She turns to you. You heard him. It was Angus on all fours. Anything else you need to know? Oh, what a wonderful lawyer you are, Liz. Okay. So that brings me up to 58% from having confronted him about the drug trade on top of it. Yeah. Angus is a large man. But he's not that large. And also the extra set of footprints that we found were distinctive in that one sole was worn down more than the other. In the truck that we found that had been used for the drug running, one of the pedals had sandpaper glued to it to improve the grip, which would, surprise, surprise, smooth down the sole of one's shoe, boot, what have you. I'm going to try this rhetoric check. Cross your fingers for me. Oh, failure. And how close were we? Oh, we were 4 points off. So close and yet so far. I don't know what went wrong the last time. You have so many good ideas here. Make them all see they're puppets on a string. My rhetoric is a 5. It ought to be good enough for this. You guys are always telling me they're good, and then they aren't. Okay, man, it's clear you're being played like fiddle. Play an imaginary fiddle. I know what's going on here. I've been wronged, too. I got this fucking dark shadow over my heart. I'm going to tell you a little story about Kim here. Or, Kim, I'm going to need your gun again. Oh, they're all so bad. Oh, why is a rhetoric failure so much worse than any of the other failures? Oh no, wait, forgive me. The I want to make fuck with you failure right up at the beginning. That was the worst possible. It's probably best not to ask. One of the free games? I don't know that it's free right now. I paid for my copy fair and square. It's called Disco Elysium. It is definitely available on Steam, and I'm not 100% sure about other platforms, but I know it's available on some console, I just don't know which one. Let's go with incoherence. You guys are always telling me they're good, and then they aren't. Those are the other guys. My shit is solid gold. You can trust me. Fair enough, Ask. Can I? All those ideas looked really bad. Okay, but please, I can't afford to fail now. All those ideas looked really bad, man. Oh, you don't like these arguments? Let's see you come up with your own then. Come on, everyone's waiting. Where are they? Drama, whatever. Just do the fiddle thing, sire. It'll be artistic. And if you've already done it, do it again. Well, I didn't do the fiddle thing, but it's the best... Fine, we'll go with drama. Play an imaginary fiddle. Look like a fool. Glenn. No, we fucking ain't, asshole. Glenn jumps in, shouting. No one's fiddling anyone in here. I should hope not, sir. Titus. No, Glenn. I want to hear this. Who do you think is fucking fiddling me? Who do you think? Keep playing the imaginary fiddle, grins sagely. 'Tis pity she's a whore, wink. Perform a dramatic finale on the imaginary fiddle. The hunter becomes the hunter. You promised there would be good options. Where are they? You promised, Rhetoric. You promised. Oh, you want more good options? Here we go. So good. Oh, no. Okay. I mean, your sweet little plaything upstairs. More fiddle playing. Titus, pussy boy, dramatically put the fiddle down. You and I both know where this is going. Who do you think? Keep playing the fiddle. 'Tis a pity. Oh, boy. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, dear. This is awful. I mean, number 5, like, good lord, what is happening to me? Have a nice lurk, Ask. Who do you think? Eugene, I think you're losing it, Fiddleman. Titus, no, this fucking suicide carny is trying to get to me. This ain't gonna work with Titus Hardy. He looks you in the eye. Put the fiddle down or walk away. It's that simple. Kim, he'll put the fiddle down. He turns to you. Put it down, officer. Oh, no. There goes a point of morale. Rhetoric, I do not understand. This fiddle play totally fell apart. The concept was solid, but the delivery tragically off. You sound like a madman, not a cop. Yes, that's the problem with failure. I'm gonna go now. Well, that was terrible, but I have skill points. Oh, that was just awful. Come on, autosave. Oh, why is it stalling out now? Come on, game, hold it together. Why do autosaves freeze you? That's what I'd like to know. This isn't even your first autosave of the evening. Night, whatever it counts as at this point. Oh dear. So yes, we're a little frozen right now. Just kind of ice cold. I'm not sure if it shows up on screen, but my cursor just keeps spinning instead of being an arrow like it's supposed to. Wait. We have an actual pointer again. Okay, I hated that a lot. I'm doing my own save just to make sure. Yes, Liz, this is what you studied law for. Do you feel accomplished? Okay. So Oh boy. Our map has updated with something. Yeah, the cafeteria window still wants a perception check. And we completed a quest, but not sure which one anymore. Okay. So I've leveled up a few times. So let's put a point in rhetoric and try again. Yes, that's bouncing because I put the point in rhetoric, which is associated with a rhetoric check.
It's you again. What is it?
Okay. We are now sitting at a 72% chance on this rhetoric check. So, I'm gonna try it again. Please don't make me sound stupid again. And it failed again. Okay, we have a new option. I can't keep doing this. You take the wheel. Take the wheel, Kim. Kim, take the wheel. You and Jesus steer this car. The lieutenant inclines his head, only slightly. Thanks for your time, Titus. Case closed. He takes out his notebook and writes a few words. Let's go, officer. Titus, huh? He looks surprised. Kim, really, we're ready to begin our report. I've already started, actually. He turns back to his notebook and writes as he speaks. In Martinez, they just kill you because they don't like you. Shanky, yeah, let them know. The little guy slams his fist on the table. We'll kill you dead. Because of some chick. Because you're a foreigner. Because you work for the wrong people. Because they like killing. Because of some chick? Perhaps? Oh, I'm torn. I don't think that number 4 is the right answer in this case. But, I'm gonna go with because of some chick. Elaine, a wince. It's involuntary. Bring that up one more time, and you won't get to write that report. Half-light success. The man's fists under the table are balled. You can tell from his neck and shoulders. He means it. Kim, yes, I understand, Elaine. That's your name, right? Elaine? You'll kill us. He scratches in his notebook. That's what they do in the wild north. They just hang you, like in the Dark Ages, make a display of your corpse. Excuse me, I'm not sure what's going on with my voice for a moment here. They just hang you, shoot you, whatever, they can't even remember. They just hang you, shoot you, light you on fire, they don't care. It's either one or two here. I'm going to go with number two. They just hang you, shoot you, whatever. They can't even remember. Angus, it wasn't that. It wasn't, the fat man says with a wheeze. We didn't shoot him. Rhetoric, that's it. That's the weak one. You flushed him out. Now go in for the... Theo, officer, you will be next if you don't shut up. The old man reaches for his belt, but his voice is strangely calm. Hand-eye coordination. Success. Firearm, a Glace 08 or a .38 caliber pistol. Either is small enough for you to have missed. Oh, this is so tough. Like, in an investigation that I did of the corpse, I actually found out that he'd been shot through the roof of his mouth, and then he was hung to cover up the fact that he was shot. Which is why I chose the option that I did. Rhetoric, he's on to you. He knows what you're trying to do. Turn to Angus. Or what? You're gonna kill me like you killed him? For no fucking reason? Turn to Theo. What happens if I keep talking? You gonna kill me too in this bar? For nothing? Look at Kim first. This is a really difficult conversation. I want to lean on Angus, but it might get me shot by Theo. I'm gonna lean on Angus. I'm gonna lean on Angus. Angus, we didn't kill him. We didn't even hang him. He was dead when he takes a breath, wheezing. Ha ha! Elizabeth, shut up, Angus! He was dead before you hanged him? Which is what I wanted you to admit all along? Shanky, Fatty! The little guy hits Angus on the back of the head. A loud slap. Say one more thing to the cops and I'll... Titus, Dennis! Titus roars. Stand down or I'll beat your head in. Theo, he points to the old man, take your hand off the belt. This isn't 31. I've got this under control. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Thank you, Kim. Composure or success. Does he? His closed fist is shaking. It's you who's in control. Let them have their moment. Angus. The room falls quiet. So quiet you can hear Angus wheeze. Titus. Angie, where's your goddamn inhaler? You sound like you're dying. Angus. I left it home. I can't get it. I'm too fucked. He grabs his chest. I'm sorry. Elizabeth, why are you so fucking fat, Angus? Lizzie snaps at him. Now it's all pointless because of you. You wasted my time. I told you, Titus. She turned to him. I told you to just give her up. You know, when your lawyer advises you, and she is a lawyer. Titus, Lizzie, he turns to the fixer. Your help is no longer needed here. Go tell Everard. Elizabeth, fine, I'll tell him, after a long walk along the coast. She walks off without looking back. Well, okay. Rhetoric, you're in. He's all yours. Questions. Well, we did get the lawyer to leave. The lawyer has left. The police detectives have the room. I'm sorry I made you guys fight. Whisper, Kim, we did it. So you didn't kill him. He was already dead. It's class you didn't kill him. Why the cover-up? So who killed the merc then? Any leads? Whose idea was it to hang him anyway? Hers? Okay, now the order of things is important here. And I'm not going to apologize, and it's really not a good plan to whisper to Kim at this moment. So I'm just gonna go straight into number 3 here. So you didn't kill him, he was already dead, which I already knew. He nods. Kim, you hanged the corpse to cover up the real cause of death, the bullet in his head. Titus, another nod. Why? Titus, 'cause the girls asked us to. They were in some shit. Girls? Plural? Thank you, Rhetoric. Rhetoric, success. Girls, plural? There's another girl? 2 of them? Take note of this. They'll probably say more about her later. Kim, did she kill him? Titus, Cop, I have no idea. The girl says she didn't. What happened Sunday night? Titus, class she came down. He points to the stairs. She seemed really out of it, drugged up, even more than usual. Bug-eyed and gurning, you know? Not in a fun way. It looked like she'd redosed after something went down. I've seen that look before. She was scared. I knew someone had died. How did you know? I've done this job for 10 years. I've seen it before. It's the politician in the motel room with the dead hooker scenario, only in reverse. Shanky, good analogy, boss. The rat-faced man snickers. Not the time, man. Titus, you don't get to talk yet, Shanky. He points at him. You're still on the bench, and you keep taking it easy too, Angus. He turns back to you. What happened then? We went upstairs. Sure as day the merc was dead, and there was a bullet hole through the window. Fucking... He scratches his chin. Dirty sheets and bottles everywhere. Ah! In a previous session, I had observed that a window pane had been recently replaced in Cassie's hotel room. Hostel room. Her room. Rhetoric success. He means they'd been fucking? Yeah, it's all coming together except that I doubt it is, actually. For one, while there are 2 women that I can think of, there is the extra hardy that was mentioned before, the one with the worn down boot, is in fact a woman who is implied to be a lesbian, although we have not been able to speak to her, so we don't know that for certain yet. And there's also the one who's been mentioned here, or Class G, who's upstairs. And those might be the girls that are mentioned, but the thing is that the woman, the driver, she's been gone for days at this point. Quite some time. Finding her is going to be an issue. Yes. She is said to have disappeared or left or what have you just after the hanging. That my character and my partner Kim are here to investigate. But yes, continuing. Titus, Tibbs passed the window, and the corpse we hanged. Okay. Who's Tibbs, the 8th Hardy? If Cassie didn't kill him, why the cover-up? So who killed him? Let's ask who Tibbs is. Nah, he's my brother. He's in the window replacement business. Aha. Conceptualization success. Tibbs, that's short for Tiberius, or back to cop questions. Oh, short for Tiberius, seeing as the brother Titus and Tiberius sounds thematic. Yeah, he nods. Good man. Enjoy your lurk. Another conceptualization success. Bet their father's named Atticus Hardy. Lucretia Hardy would be their sister. Anyway, continuing. Alright, so if Clashy didn't kill him, why the cover-up? You may have noticed our girl's in some shit of her own. I didn't notice anything. What kind of shit are we talking about? They can't show up on police radar kind. There are people after her, from the old world, where she came from. These people, who are they? Do you know? They're powerful. He looks out the window. Connected to the moral intern. She's clearly afraid for her life. Says if she showed up in your systems, she'd be ghosted away. Drama success. That's all he knows. That's all she told him. Kim, and why would you help someone like that? By taking on a murder. Titus, why would I? He shrugs. I guess we abide all sorts of runaways and losers here. It's a Martinez thing. So whose idea was it to hang him? In a manner of speaking. Reaction speed. Remember the 2 girls? He may be talking about the other one. Earlier you said the girls asked for your help. Was this the other girl? Yay, another skill point. That's right, he blinks. It was her idea to hang him. I liked it for political reasons. It sent a good message. It's her, isn't it? The drug trafficker. The missing 8th Hardy. The big guy steps towards you. Fella, you think too much. Ease off, all right? You're gonna hurt your head. Or he's gonna hurt it for me. That woman is just affiliated with the Hardy Boys. You don't know her anyway. You know, it's okay for there to be a Hardy girl, Titus. Understood. Can you tell me anything about her? Name, current location? You're going to stonewall me if I ask more about her, aren't you? Can you tell me anything about her? Nope, he says. You're not getting to her. It's Classy you want to talk to. Uh-huh. So who killed the mercs then if it wasn't, our blonde upstairs? Any leads, Titus? Not yet, just some ideas. She says the shot came from outside, behind the window somewhere. So that's a clue. What are you thinking? Or got it? Tell me something else. Now, what are you thinking? I'm thinking someone's past caught up with them, either his or hers. Kim, hers, you mean... Titus, I mean the people after class. Maybe the shot missed. Maybe it was meant for her. Eugene, I like that. The young guy nods. Been thinking the same thing myself. And you had ideas about his past, too? Titus, I do. One of those mercenary buddies of his could have done it. They got guns, training, years of bad blood, probably. Or it could have been someone else from Cornell. He pauses to think. Tell you what I'd do. Check out the coast for vantage points. Maybe consult with a ballistics buddy of mine. That's what I'd do. If I wasn't too busy doing this clown dance with you. I'm gonna press the whose idea was it to hang him thing again because I want to try different answers. In a manner of speaking. Yep. Who was the other girl? Her idea. The missing 8th Hardy. You're going to stonewall me, aren't you? Glad you understand that. Yeah, she's around somewhere and she knows something and I need to find her. Thank you, Titus. I'll go talk to her. You do that. He grabs his beer and swirls it in his hand, then thinks of something. Hey, cop, before you go. Shiver's success. Suddenly, the wind picks up outside. You hear it rattling the large windows in their frames. It carries newspapers, circles the whirling rags in a warm column. Titus, he looks up. Class, she came to Martinez to hide. Many of us did. This is where you wash up when there's nowhere left to go. The Union takes you in. Now, she refused that protection, but you would still prefer if we didn't take her away? Or goodbye, Titus. But you would still prefer if we didn't take her away. That's right. If we didn't take care of the people who end up here, this place would just be a couple of ruins and some cargo containers. Kim, we'll take that into account. The lieutenant slides his notebook into his coat pocket. He turns to leave. Well, 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 well. Deep and dark and interesting. But that's also that rhetoric check that I can very literally cross off my list of things to remember to do. That does leave the perception check on this cafeteria window. So, you know what? I will put one more point in perception and try that check as the last thing this evening. Oh, so many points in perception. Alright. We're gonna try it again. Behind the dock workers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. Okay, we have an 83% chance on this one. Here goes. Success at last! There's a yellow ribbon tied to one of the branches. Light yellow, faded with time. A tiny splash of color in the blackness of the thicket. Hanging from it, a bronze key. A key! A key! A key! A key! Logic success. Someone hid the key in the bush and attached a yellow ribbon to make it easier to find. Ho 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 ho! Visual calculus success. It's close enough to the latch up there. One can slide it open and just take it. Surely not a coincidence. Someone's hid a key in the bush. Point at the window. Titus, huh? The big guy looks behind him. I need your guys to hand the key to me. Can you let me slide by so I can grab the thing? Or Titus, can you hand the key to me, please? Let me slide by so I can grab the thing, will ya? Elaine, I don't know about that. The tattooed man yawns and settles more comfortably on the bench. I'm comfortable here. I don't think any sliding would really help right now. Glenn, sorry, fucko. Looks like you're gonna have to go bush diving. Good fucking luck with that. The hawthorn's got a bitch of a bite. Shanky, I'm gonna enjoy the sight of you in the bushes out there. Theo, with a loud thud, the old man stands up, pushes the window open, grabs the key from the hawthorn branch, and slides it across the table to you. Thank you, Theo. Take the key. Spare key for workshop. The key is brass. Workshop spare is etched into its bow. The old man closes the window and sits down in silence. Glenn, come on, man. We were just having some fun. Where's the harm in... Theo, I'm tired of listening to your shit. You're not the only one. Thank you, nod to the old man. Does anyone know why this key was hanging right outside the Union Box window? Look at the key in your hand. I wonder what doors does it open? Or leave? Thank you. Don't thank me. The old man takes out his pack of chewing tobacco. I don't give two shits about your key. I'm gonna ask anyway. Does anyone know why this key was hanging right outside? Titus, didn't even know it was there. The man looks at the key in your hand, then around the room. Boys? Elaine, no idea. Eugene, never even seen it. Someone must have hidden it there before this room became our place. I wonder what doors does it open. Kim, it could open the door in the kitchen, the blue door. He looks at the key in your hand. It says workshop spare. Maybe there's a workshop there? Logic, it's worth a try. It is. It actually is. And failure or success, that is next week's try. But yes, there's been a door here in the kitchen that has been bothering me. Such a pretty door. I want to know what's behind it. And next week, I will absolutely find out. Because this week it is 20 after 12, which is 20 minutes after my nominal end time. This game does a number on my head, so I can't actually do terribly long sessions with it. So we will save the game, a proper save this time, instead of all the quick saves I've been doing. right, and that is Disco Elysium for this week, and I will have to remember to make a note about the door. Oh, and I can cross off the perception check as well. This is a day for crossing off things. Excellent. Okay. I will save that for a little bit, because why have you sit here listening to me write nothing? Well, cross things off. I got a lot of things done today, and I still haven't gone across the harbor. I will be returning on Wednesday as close to 7 p.m. Eastern Time as everyone can be gotten together to play Among Us with a group of my writer friends. We have a lot of fun, and none of us are terribly good at the game, so I hope that watchers also will have a lot of fun with that one. And then I will be back again after that at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday for Try Not to Die Thursday, where I will be continuing with my playthrough of Darkest Dungeon. I've managed to get most of the roster in my modded game up to level 1 in last week's session, so I'm thinking that in this week's session it might be time to start going after the bosses. You know, before people get over-leveled for the boss quests. So that will be a time, most likely. If you have missed previous sessions of Disco Elysium and you want to know what the heck is going on, then all of the entirety of the Disco Elysium sessions are available on my YouTube channel. There's a playlist there and everything. You can find it at the link that I just put up, or if you scroll down on my About page, there's a link directly to the playlist right there in the YouTube section. And that has all of the previous sessions nicely archived, and that is updated every Friday. The sessions from Try Not to Die Thursday are updated on Tuesdays, and that is also available. There's a nice playlist for Oxygen Not Included, which I was playing before and will be playing again, continuing that base. And there will be the sessions of Darkest Dungeon, the two sessions previous, and the third session will be going up on Tuesday. In the meantime, I hope that keeps people busy until Wednesday. I hope that you had fun here tonight with me, and I hope to see you all on Wednesday, and that you have a great night. Good night.